And you have to have a cool mustache, so can't
Thank you.
argue with that.
I can't bring it up because then it's a little try hard. So I've been waiting for people to bring it up. Yeah.
I saw
Thanks.
the
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lauren, I have to say, I'm so excited whenever I see you come back to be a mom because I just feel like you're like my mom. Like, it's just,
Only not in this movie.
I stand by her in this movie. I do. I mean, I love seeing that you've raised an entire, generation. Every fall, you become our mom again. And now you're back in Twinless to play Dylan O'Brien's mom. So, how does it feel to be back in that kind of role?
It felt like a different kind of role. I mean, I always say, yes, I have ended up in these moms, one of which has had more staying power than could have foreseen, but I don't go in thinking like mom. I go in thinking, who's this person and what's this relationship? And I was so pleased to get the chance to play somebody a little bit messier and in a darker place. But more than that, I just loved this movie from the minute I started reading it. And I am such a fan of Dylan's and just thought this is something I just want to be any part of at all. And I thought what the movie thematically kind of looks at is so powerful and positive. And so I'm just really, really pleased with how it came out. It came out even better than it read, which was pretty incredible.
And you touched on this that these characters are definitely messy. We see them probably at their messiest, at their most vulnerable. And we also don't necessarily get to see how it's all going to wrap up. We don't see their whole lives, how everything is going to fall together. So, why is it important for audiences to kind of see this time in their lives and when they're just making these decisions, they don't really know what they're doing?
But that's just life, right? I don't think we're ever really at our most perfect. I think in a day, sometimes we can run the gamut of being maybe not our best selves and then maybe coming back to something that we can be prouder of. And I think, that's kind of a lot of the times when you see movies, they're just a snapshot of a person in one spot. But I think what I like about this film is that we see so many of these characters show all their different sides to them, or maybe they're also represented by other characters, like in the case of Marcy, and how really that's just life. We're just muddling through, trying to figure things out. Sometimes it's harder than others. And I mean, we all have our really crappy sides and the sides that we can be prouder of. And I guess it's finding your place in a community of people who will be willing to give you space and grace to be all of that, hopefully.
Also, this movie has a journey that I think is really unexpected, where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how this is going to evolve, and I think it has almost a thriller kind of aspect to it. I feel, which is like, how is this going to resolve itself? This is a mess, and yet it's a fun mess to watch. I mean, to watch these two kind of have this bromance is like really entertaining and lovely, and I don't want it to end, and so it really takes you for a ride.
Absolutely. And Ashley, I wanted to go to you because your character is so positive, and I feel like she does tend to see the good side in people, even though, again, we're talking about how flawed these characters can really be. So, what do you think she really sees in Roman and Dennis?
I think in Dennis, she probably feels that he's a little bit lonely and knows that that is a source of great pain for a lot of people. And that maybe, yeah, he's a bit, spiky around the edges, but she's willing to just at least be a friend to him, to kind of hopefully give him some hope. And with Roman, I think she sees that he's someone who's hurting, but who has a huge heart, and she's willing to hold his hand through his grief so that they can, help him heal and build something more. And even though she is kind of the lightness and the positivity, what I like is she shows that you can still, give people that grace and love them through their hard moments, but that doesn't mean that you excuse what they're doing. There's a difference between understanding and excusing, I think. And she's very understanding, but she doesn't excuse. She holds Roman accountable when he kind of lashes out at her and says, I'm going to love you through this, but I'm not excusing this kind of behavior. And I think that's really the sign of someone who really is willing to be there for you through thick and thin.
I'm excited to talk about this movie. I have to say, Dylan, you're living my fantasy of playing a twin. Maybe that makes me twin crazed. I don't know.
We all
Embrace it.
are a little bit.
Right? Like we're living in that. I like a Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap
I
moment.
mean, I was
Yes.
gonna say, if you're in our age range, that's
Yeah,
how we were
yeah.
brought up.
Exactly, right? Like I feel like I was gonna say it's my fantasy. Hopefully it's one of yours.
Yeah,
Definitely mine.
It Takes Two is one of my favorite movies ever as a kid, and so was Parent Trap, and yeah.
What were you most excited when it came to playing Roman and Rocky, two very different characters? And were you at all nervous to play Rocky and portray him correctly?
Well, not nervous, no. Or just no more so than I always am in terms of wanting to like get something right and have something feel authentic, you know. I felt genuinely so comfortable in both of these skins because they were both colored with so many elements that I identify with myself and that resonate with me. And I felt that from the first time I even read the script that, you know, I deeply connected to who these guys were, and I had so many of their qualities inside me, and I could kind of, you know, do a little mitosis. Is that what that was called in biology? Little Splitsville action where, you know, I felt so comfortable with the elements that made up each of them, and then I also felt so trusting and comfortable in James's hands, and then it's just about getting there and having so much fun going for it and just letting it fly and having permission from him to be like, you know, go take it even further. You know, we could always bring it back, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's the best way to work.
And you had to have a cool mustache, so can't
Thank you.
argue with that.
I can't bring it up because then it's, you know, it's a little try hard. So I've been waiting for people to bring it up. Yeah.
Mustache,
Thanks.
the fitted jeans. I saw it.
Thanks.
I saw the fitted
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
On top of all of that, they're also just very messy characters. We get to see queer people being very messy as well. So, what about this story, and why did you want audiences to really see that instead of just these idolized versions of LGBTQ characters?
I don't know if I see it specifically through that objective. I just try to, I guess as a filmmaker, I'm trying to balance writing the world as it is versus the world as I want to see it. I think. You know, everybody's flawed. We're all human. And I see Dennis as being a deeply human person and, you know, definitely tracking how are we building empathy and understanding his character and why he makes the decisions he makes. That's absolutely part of like the structuring of the film and the coloring process. But yeah, ultimately I just feel like there is universality and specificity, and I don't think it matters if you're gay or straight or whatever. Hopefully this is a film you can enjoy because it's ultimately about friendship, and hopefully everybody has a friend.
That's the takeaway.
That was so Dennis.
Everyone should have a friend, especially Dennis. He needs one.
I don't know my limits.